In this video, I've put some practice questions on auto and shop information for you to prepare for the ASVAB test. Which one of these tools to hold things stationary does not have a screw that loosens and tightens the clamping pressure? Bench vise, pliers, C-clamp, hand screw vise. The answer here is pliers. All of the three other choices here, the bench vise, C-clamp, and hand screw vise, they use a screw to tighten and loosen the clamping power, while pliers are not classified as a clamp. They do sometimes function as a clamping tool. The function of a wire gauge is to determine the type of wire if it is undetermined, measure thickness of wires, measure if an old wire is still usable, or measure the electric capacity of the wire. A gauge is a type of measuring tool, and wire gauges are specifically for measuring wire thickness. So the answer here is to measure thickness of wires. The two arms of a square are called blade and tongue, left and right, hour and minute, south and east. The answer here is blade and tongue. The blade and tongue are set at a 90-degree angle to check trueness of an angle. The material contained inside small tubes in levels to make sure that a surface is true or evenly usually consists of sand, water and oil, mercury, or a type of liquid and air bubble. The answer here is this one, a type of liquid and an air bubble. So if the air bubbles stay along the center, the surface is therefore even. A square tests the accuracy of an angle. A level tests the evenness of a surface. A plumb bob test vertical trueness, weight limit, height, or horizontal trueness. So a plumb bob test vertical trueness. A plumb bob is a heavy weight, usually in a cone-like shape, to test vertical accuracy. The best type of nail to use when building a temporary wall that is certain to be torn down after a while is the double-headed nail, common nail, screw, or finishing nail. The answer here is double-headed nail. A double-headed nail has a higher head that protrudes after being driven so that extraction is easier, and this makes it ideal for temporary projects. ABS is a modern four-wheel system that prevents the wheels of the car from locking up. ABS stands for Armed Blocking System, Anti-Brake System, Anti-Lock Brake System, or Automatic Breakaway System. The answer here is anti-lock brake system. So the anti-lock braking system prevents the wheels from locking up and skidding. Screws and bolts are types of fasteners that can be easily taken out of a surface with little damage. A screw is different from a bolt in that a screw is always driven into a knot, requires the use of a wing nut, has threads, or is self-driving. The answer here is self-driving. So a screw has tapered threads so it can be driven into unthreaded surfaces, and machine screws are the exception in that they are typically driven into threaded holes, and both screws and bolts have threads. The small flat metal item responsible for protecting the surface from the bolt digging into it, and additionally for keeping the bolt tight in place, is called a nut, flat bolt, washer, or screw. The answer here is washer. Flat washers are the most common type. There are also shake-proof washers and split lock washers. The tool used to back up a rivet is called a clamp, bucking bar, hammer, or screwdriver. The answer here is bucking bar. Standard rivets are driven by this tool while a hammer hits it on the other side. Bucking bars, also known as shop heads, are used to create the back end of solid rivets. When talking about nails, a 10D nail, for example, the D stands for inches, penny, nail head size, pounds. So the answer here is penny. D here stands for penny. The D, which stands for the Roman coin denarius, is an abbreviation for penny and is used as the unit for measuring nail size. So this comes from the days when nails were sold according to how many pennies they cost or how many nails you could buy for 1 penny. But today it is still used mostly as a measure of length, but nails are also labeled by their actual length, such as 1 and 1/4 inch nails. A single row of cylinders in a car engine is called a cylinder group, inline, cycle, or a piston. The answer here is inline. In vehicles with 1 row, it is called inline. 2-row engines include V and boxer engines, and a typical engine has 4, 6, or 8 cylinders. The twisting force that causes rotation is properly referred to as horsepower, mph, or miles per hour, energy, or torque. The answer here is torque. Torque is the force that causes an object to rotate. Setting a manual transmission car in first gear will generate more torque than in second gear. Which automotive system uses the following components: battery, distributor, coil wire, and spark plugs? Ignition system, exhaust system, braking system, or engine cooling system? The answer here is ignition system. A vehicle ignition system is divided into low voltage and high voltage subsystems known as the primary and secondary ignition systems. These systems require a battery, a distributor, coil wires, and spark plugs to operate. A small hole that ensures drilling accuracy is best made by drift, pin punch, center punch, or called chisel. The answer here is center punch. A punch is a tool with a pointed end and a blunt end that is usually struck by a hammer. A center punch is best used for making a starting mark or dimple on a surface. This type of knot is easiest to tighten without tools: wing, castellated, acorn, or lock. The answer here is wing. A wing knot has wings on each side for hand tightening ease. When accurate measurements of small distances are needed, it is best to use a micrometer, caliper, tape measure, or spirit level. The answer here is micrometer. Micrometers are clamp-like tools designed to measure accuracy to thousandth of an inch. They are best for precise measurements of small distances. In order to level a surface across a plane, one might use a line level, tubular spirit level, water level, bullseye spirit level. The answer here is bullseye spirit level. A bullseye spirit level is a circular device filled with liquid. The position of a bubble in the liquid serves to level your surface across a plane. When the bubble is in the bullseye, the surface is level in 2 dimensions. A miter box is helpful in making cuts in hard materials, cross cuts at specific angles, cuts that curve, or wide cuts. The answer here is this one. A miter box is helpful in making cross cuts at specific angles. A miter box has slots that guide hand saws in making angled cuts, usually at 45-degree and 90-degree angles. If the distance between two parallel sides of a bolt head is 3/8 of an inch, which socket drive size should you use? 2/1, 3/8, 1/2, or 8/3. Now, to loosen or tighten a bolt, you should use a socket that matches exactly the measurement of the bolt. So the measurement of the bolt head here is 3/8 of an inch. Therefore, the socket drive size should match the size of the bolt, which is also equivalent to 3/8 inch. During the compression stroke, the piston moves towards which position? TDC, BMC, BDC, or TMC? The answer here is TDC. During the compression stroke, the piston moves upwards towards TDC and compresses the fuel and air in the cylinder. Once it reaches TDC, the fuel is ignited. That force pushes the piston down towards BDC. So TDC here refers to the piston's position at the top of the cylinder, top dead center, while BDC, or bottom dead center, refers to its place at the bottom of the cylinder.